Do you often visit a museum? To be honest, I rarely visit a museum. You know, when I were tried, when I were in Vietnam, I learned a lot about Vietnam world, about Vietnamese history. So when it comes to museum, I always thought that I always thought that mu- all museum related to Vietnam wars. Yeah, sometimes it did really freaks me out. So I always thought that museums are so boring. Number two, did you go to any museums when you were the child? Absolutely yes. That was an education trip held by my secondary school, so all students had to participate. We went to Uncle Ho's hometown. The place Uncle Ho's, my beloved uh, recent Uncle Ho, President Uncle Ho's, were born and bred. Uh, the resident there rebuilt his house, and inside us they displayed many old items of his family and his life. Number three, when were the last time you visited the museum? As it was quite recently. Last month, one of my friends came to Japan to see me and my family, so we decided to visit Hiroshima Peace Memorial Museum. Yeah, yeah. Mm, yeah, that trip was very different from my imagination before. Because I always think museum was so boring, but that trip helped me big time to understand clearly about how bad a bomb, yeah, gave to bring how bad uh, a bomb um, a bomb affect to the human. I I cried a lot. Mm, Number four. Do you think museums are useful for visitors to your hometown? Actually, I think museums are useful, but to my hometown, maybe they are not useful for visitors. I think, my hometown was very famous. No, my hometown now is very famous for its natural beauty, its nature's beauty. Yeah, every year there's many flock tourists come to see its nature. So I think yeah, visiting uh, visiting museum is indoors activity. So um, it is not need to my hometown. Yeah, maybe a natural reservation park, something like that. It's more useful than a museum. Okay, number five. Are there many museums in your countries? My guess is so many, but but uh, they are not diverse. In the world now, there are a lot of kind of museum like chocolates, flowers, clothes, or a book, something like that. But in Vietnam, in my country, yeah, maybe it have my country is a newbie in museum. So maybe it have only the original museums like Vietnam histories or Vietnamese traditional culture, something like that. Number 6, do you think museums are important? Yes, absolutely. Museums are important to art. You know, museums. Museum. Museum is a place. Years place reserve history and traditional values or countries or displayed, yeah, maybe the province or the local, something like that. So it's let people know, it's let local people know about, it's let it's let local people know very clearly about the history of where they are living or their countries. And sometimes visiting museums is a best way to to uh, to understand about the thing we learned in history subject at school. And I think sometimes it can help it can help get more benefits in tourism, because overseas tourists can briefly understand about the country's histories